Well, here it is, day 50, and did about 32K yesterday. We'll be in so 2 more days. We'll be in by Thursday. By Thursday, we'll be in Quebec, and then once we hit La Belle Provence, the walk will be on hold, and we're going to focus on awareness for a couple of weeks. We're going to go over to Toronto, and we're going to busk for a while. I'll be flying out for a week with Dougie, while Brian continues to busk around Toronto. When we come back, we're gonna busk in Montreal and Quebec, pass out a large number of cards, and talk to folks about awareness, talking about child trafficking. Of course, Ontario, they just had that bust of 80 people, so it's fresh in their minds. But I'm sure the same apathy is in Ontario that we're finding everywhere else. I mean, apathy throughout North America. I mean, that's why it's been able to flourish. There's 1.5 million in the states, growing by 300,000 a year. Those are documented figures from the U.S. government. So we're losing about 20-30 children a day for suicide, because the life expectancy 5 to 7 years. Child gets sick, chances are they're just killed and buried somewhere in the woods. But we're losing 20 to 30 kids a day. I talked to a kid today at a truck stop. Now, this is really interesting. 18, 19 years old. I said, so child trafficking, are you familiar? He said, no, I've never heard of it. 18, 19, working at a truck stop where child trafficking flourishes. And the smart kid, had never ever heard of child trafficking. In a way, kind of, it was like, well, his childhood has been stolen from him. There's an innocence there. But also, he's totally unaware, and, which makes him very vulnerable. But, you would think that the owner of the truck stop would have told their staff, hey, listen, when you see 10, 11, 12-year-old little girls and boys going on trucks, call the police. But this kid didn't know anything about it. So, like I say, there are 20, 30 kids every day die in Canada in relation to child trafficking. Suicides, we know that in Woodstock, Ontario, 5 took their lives, another group of 7 up north. But like I say, there's a lot of them die and we're not even aware of it. It's not like the police don't find them because they're just buried somewhere. You see, the individuals who are making billions upon billions of dollars at this, they got it down to a science. Don't make sure there's not a lot of bodies. Not a lot of kidnapping. Do it in such a way that maybe an area might lose a child. Like maybe Nova Scotia might lose a child maybe once a week, once every 10 days. So it's so people think it's just a runaway. Obviously you take 30 kids in a couple of weeks out of an area, people are going to look up. They're going to, hey, that's going to get their attention. But these are sophisticated guys. They're making billions and billions, and they got this down to a science because they've been doing it for decades. And they've got a wonderful audience. The population, they're more interested in, anything other than, unless, of course, you get 50 people die, like in a shooting down in Orlando, then that'll grab their attention for, 2 or 3 news cycles. And then they're right back to the regular routine until it happens to them. Until it happens to them or somebody on their block, then it's in their mind, maybe for a week, 10 days, and it's just not there anymore. And like I say, it's enabled it to flourish. But we're going to continue being diligent. Am I surprised that after yesterday's video that there weren't any shares? Not surprised. Disappointed. Not surprised. Like I say, North American audience, very apathetic. But you know what? We're going to continue because we are going to, no matter what, we're going to do whatever we can do to try to save children. You know why? Because it's the right thing to do.